Hello. As you can see, I've changed the shirt. Oh, I'm still laughing. It's hard to ditch that energy. I'm not going to ditch that energy. It's always going to be that a hungry hippie is there. Only I guess you could say this might be Professor Hippie. I guess maybe that's... I got the glasses on. It's like I actually do wear glasses. But I'll take them off. I really will take them off because they're not bifocals and I'm so old. I can't read my notes. And I actually got my notes, which I don't have to sit and read, but I do want to just keep myself guided because I watched my last video, okay? And I know I'm all over the place. I mean, I did stick with a general thing, but I was all over the place. And I wanted to just make a video to just talk to the camera just honestly without being behind some crazy sunglasses with LEDs and of all the raw men and eating stuff and slurping and burping and burning, just doing the crazy eating. So I was gonna say I wanted to make some changes. Like I want to do less editing. That was the one complaint that I gotten repeatedly, and I made there's still a long series of videos of just like crazy, and I still want to edit some videos. I still want to do some editing. I want to do an in-between. Like the last video I was like no editing, and I went too far because I was trying to prove that I didn't have to really run and drink anything after eating just one pack of the Samyang 2X noodles. I'll eat these noodles and just sit and talk, and I did. So that was the last video. But like I said, I didn't put a graphic for the Samyang pack, which I should have. Is right in the beginning. I know it's just when I first was reviewing, I was like no editing, and then later I'm like I put a graphic in later anyway. So well, anyway, I didn't feel like redoing it. It was a 57-minute long video. I was like. And then recently I was doing some editing because I did another video with Hungry Fat Chick where I ate some stuff. I'm not going to say what it is, but I edited that video and I did some images in that video, which is unusual for her videos. It's like I'm walking on thin ice because I want to not do over editing consistently. I don't want to keep over editing. I mean, one video took as long as like 5 days of just sitting there, just copy paste and find an image. And so all that work, and I was like, and it's kind of something I still want to do. It's something I don't know why, but I like it myself, and I like seeing it. It does something. I don't know. It does something alright. That makes a lot of people hate it. Some people like it. Some people hate it. They really like it. They really hate it. And I could just sit there watching it while drunk or something. I don't know. But I'm not drunk when I'm making it. It's like I can't be drunk when I'm making it, but I love to watch it while drunk. But anyway. So I want to do a little bit less editing overall on every video, but I want to maintain, you know, some editing. I want to, because I'm still learning. I've spent a lot of time playing with editing programs, but I never really learned to edit. I was just outputting straight stuff. And I want to learn, you know, I want to learn more. So I will be. I want to do a series that, and you know I don't really have the nice equipment. I could be using a separate microphone. I could even be using another camera for a microphone, whatever, but I'm just, you know, still kind of limiting myself to this format for now because I don't want to do any big investing or anything. But I will maybe eventually get a camera with my external mic jack, and I'll just do that so I don't have to synchronize sound and all that. But then I could look into using digital sound from a source other than the camera and synchronizing or whatever. I know, but it's sad that I didn't even do that. Never did that. Probably could, you know. Anyway, that last video I watched it and I was like, wow, the ending. I was really opinionated. I could do a response video, a reaction video to my own video on that one, because I think I might ruffle some feathers, because it's like I basically called all the people who make fat acceptance cringe videos, I call them all sadists, which, you know, I guess that might have been a little strong. It's like vegans calling meat eaters murderers, you know. I realized, you know, I got really worked up. I was triggered. It was 57 minutes. It really was. It was actually longer because before the video started, I actually decided to take the hair out and everything, and it was like 30 seconds before I start cut out. And then I saw it. The video starts 30 seconds after I sit down, and it doesn't end until I end the video, really, and then I get up and turn the camera off. But I did, but that end was long. I'm like, you know, like, bad, you're bad, you sadist, making fun of fat people, you sadist. But I mean, really, you know, I don't know. All this appearance-based, I don't know, stuff in the media lately. Everything's based on appearance. It's like, it is, but it's not, but it is. Can't decide what's what. But appearances just, and you're not supposed to make fun of appearances, you know, except there's just this one group of people that seems to be left out. And it always gets to me, okay? Because I'm just about 49 years old at this point. I've seen the pendulum swing back and forth politically. I've seen it time when conservatives were fighting for free speech, and then conservatives were fighting against free speech, and now the conservatives back to fighting for free speech. I don't even know what's going on. It's just, I'm around a time when people got when Larry Flint got brought to court for obscenity because of Hustler magazine. You know what I mean? I'm actually from the time where I was trying to get somebody to buy me a Hustler magazine when that was actually happening. So we're talking about old issues. You know, it used to be the liberals or whatever, the left, whatever, they were for the free speech. They were all pro porn and free speech and everything. The very same university that protested in favor of free speech, Berkeley, and is now protesting against free speech. I don't know. I don't know. I don't go to college, so I'm old. I don't keep up with all these kids and stuff. So I noticed in my last video I was self-conflicted. Like, see, I have to look down and go, I'm doing it again. Oh my goodness. I was conflicted. I was self-conflicted. I said, you know, I don't want to say, you know, fat phobia is like racism, but it's a lot like racism. It's like, I know I conflicted myself. It's just, I guess I was making a point. I was using opposites to make a point, I guess, whatever. One thing I do regret about, that I didn't include in the last video, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's just that this video I wanted to make, because I have to point out, number one, I still have a few old videos. So I have 2 videos. I have videos where I'm eating churches in a car, and I got a video where I'm eating Indomie beef with lime flavor noodles, and I want to do those 2 with minimal editing, get them up. But I wanted to do this and put this up before any more eating, because after that last video it seems to like get serious, you know. But I want to mention something I didn't mention in the last video. First, it made me cringe a little in the last video when I mentioned I said, well, minorities don't have weight loss surgeries frequently because they're more accepting of diversity. Well, I don't know, maybe that's, I picked that up somewhere, and I put links in that video. I put links to where I get that from. Actually 3 different sources where I get that from. 2 are actual medical journals, and the 3rd is based on a medical journal and other research. But it's right out of the bariatric industry, bariatric news. So I was looking at bariatric news way back to see what was going on. What's the next advancement in this great medical experiment we call weight loss surgery. And one thing I regret really that I left out of that video altogether, 57 minutes of talking, never even brought it up. AD 36, oh my goodness, I didn't even write it down. I've looked at it so much. Adenovirus 36, isolated in 1978. Found to be responsible for respiratory and eye infections in people. It was associated with obesity in chickens by Nikhil Durandar in 2000. Well, no, I said in 2000. Actually, that's a paper. This guy, Nikhil Durandar, right in Baton Rouge. This was like within an hour from where I lived while this was being discovered. This guy in Bio Research Center in Baton Rouge found that there was an association with obesity between AD 36, this virus, and obese people as well as chickens. And he tested some blood. He made a paper that was first revised May 6, 1999, but then it's published in April of 2000. Turns out he found that when doing blood tests, this virus, the antibodies for this virus were found, they were present in 30% of obese people. So again, it's not all obese people may have the AD36, but 1/3 of them did. And guess what? 11% of non-obese. Now, of course, back in 1999, the definition for obesity was different, because that's the thing. Another thing I didn't bring up, which now I'm not even on my notes, was that obesity seemed to turn into an epidemic when they redefined obesity and lowered the bar on what's considered obese, by the way. So that's, you know, I don't know. I haven't mentioned that. I guess it didn't fit into my own perspective that, you know, obesity is just rampant, but we're blaming the individual, which I'm against that because of all the contributing factors that are environmental, including this environmental factor AD36 that I completely neglected to mention. I'm talking about eating inedible stuff. I'm talking about people having no interest in fecal transplants, which is a thing. Again, Matt Stoney, I watch him eat a you know, I watched Matt Stoney eat something that looks bigger than his head, and that seems like a rule. You shouldn't be able to eat something bigger than your head. But he eats stuff that's huge. He eats pounds of food, and he's skinny. He's been making videos for years, and he's skinny. I think somebody needs to, he should donate his microbiome, that'd be a nice way of putting it, to a bank. Yes, there are stool banks. I know, right? That's not what you want to hear. When you hear Matt Stoney, you want to hear stool bank. But guess what? I think in the name of science, Matt Stoney should donate his megatoad super eater DNA so that future generations may know what it's like to be able to eat endlessly and not gain any weight. I mean, there's some secret going on there. There's some kind of magic, some kind of voodoo going on with that. I think it's okay to talk about voodoo. My roots are in Louisiana, so I could say voodoo, right? I don't know. Okay, the only virus linked to obesity. I mean, 30%. There was another study, March 18th in 2006. Richard Atkinson from Australia published results from a study from 2000. Oh no, 2,000 Australians were given a blood test, and 20% of them were positive. Australia is really obsessed with obesity, man. They are really, good day, mate. You know, it's bad for your health. Like, I have a horrible Australian accent. That's horrible. Lose weight, mate. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say. That was it. I just wanted to make that statement about that. I know I've been doing some crazy, and it's not like I want to change the channel. And you know what? I don't know about making another channel. It's still hippie related. I don't know. It's still hippie. It's food related. It's hunger related. I don't know. It's all these things considered. I used to have a channel called Obesiverse, which I lost because I was putting blatantly inappropriate content, and at the time I was really angry. But now I realize it's like I was messing up. I wasn't being creative at all. I was spamming with these little mini clips. They were commercials, and it was dumb. It was just, it inflamed people, but I got upset. I thought I was being singled out, but it turns out it's just a certain type of content that occasionally gets singled out at different times on a long timeline. Anyway, so Obesiverse might have been a weird concept for a lot of people anyway. So Hungry Hippie seems fun, and you know, I still want to do some kind of serious stuff. There's another YouTuber that I watch. I really love their editing style. I love their use of music and their incorporation of graphics and everything, and even some degree of animation. It's like, I don't want to mention specific YouTubers right now because again, there's no associations or anything. I don't want to get in trouble or have them, their people looking at me like, what you talking about, you know? So, but I watch that, and I notice different people are able to skip back and forth between doing different things, putting in different time, different playlists. And apparently, I don't know, I was told, you know, again, by people I know, it's like, if I have this gift of gab, even though, again, you know, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have the nice mic, I might in the future, but I still have a lot, I guess, to say. I mean, I always thought nobody wants to hear me talk about all this crap that I'm obsessed about, or that I was obsessed with at some point in my life, and then seemingly moved on, but always keeping tabs from afar on my old obesity research. It just, because I have to point out, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health professional, I didn't even go to college. The only thing that I could actually be considered an expert at would be like computer repair, because way back in 1998 I actually got the A+ certification for computer repair, which means nothing now because computers are disposable and they're phones, so I don't even like smartphones. But I build my own computer. I still build my own computer. So I'm that hooked on computer desktop technology because I make it. And that used to be my big thing. So, and then I moved on. It's like I started out delivering pizzas, and I read a book and started building computers and repairing computers, and then I jumped out of that and started just making content of some sort or another. And now, you know, I even went through this learning curve of, you know, I've been using the software, but I didn't even know how to use it. I didn't even know what half of it meant. I'm still learning how to use it. I just learned chroma key and stuff. So man, I was using a graphics program that didn't even let me make transparencies. Like, that's how ancient my stuff is. I had to update to a photo editing program that was made, you know, within the last 9 years, maybe 10 years actually. This program I was using was over a decade old. You have to run it in Windows compatibility mode. That's that old. I don't know, I got so hooked on it. Wow, so that's longer longer than I even said when I went off my notes, and there you go. It's just, it's a lot of stuff on my mind. I feel like I was making these silly videos over editing, just something I like to look at when I'm, you know, astral planing or whatever I'm doing, when I'm listening to crazy music and I'm watching crazy videos, and occasionally I'll look at one of mine, I'll be like, I don't even, who is that person? But they are funny to me. I mean, I wouldn't have made them. I don't know, just learn how to edit, you know, video, doing copy and paste to small segments, doing these little, I have to stop kind of doing so much that stuttering glitch. That's such a horrible, I got so hooked on that. It's so sad. It's like a one-trick pony right there. I don't know any other really cool effects, you know, other than filters. Deciding on where to copy what segments and how long they are and how many times to repeat and whether or not to change the pitch of the sound or whatever. I mean, that stuff that's so experimental. I don't even know. I put a lot of work into it, but again, I'm not an expert. You know, I'm learning. I was just playing. I was experimenting, and it was fun. What I'm saying is I'll still occasionally return to that because I got a whole lot of raw men, and I'm really insane about raw men. I know. It's because, you know, I've said this before, raw men tells a story. You know, usually of hardship around the world at some point after some major big world power like crushed another smaller country. Ramen was like a last resort, you know, to prevent ultimate starvation, and it's like, it's just so, it's symbolic of me, to me in a few ways that aren't even too apparent in his videos, I'm sure, because I have mentioned the origins of Japanese and Korean ramen, you know, World War II and the Korean Wars, like I mean, World War II caused the invention of ramen. So it's really trips me out. And Momofuku Ando. Momofuku Ando. It's like, again, not by heart. I didn't write that stuff down. I wrote down Nikhil Durandar because he discovered the AD36, the adenovirus. I hope I'm saying adenovirus number 36, of which I didn't even make a note. This video wasn't an AD36 virus. It was just including AD36 because I didn't include it in the last video, and because it does fly in the face of personal responsibility argument, and at least by 30% of the population that happens to be obese. I mean, you can still, I guess you could still shame them. Like, does it get rid of a virus to shame it? I don't know. Does that work? How's that working? Is it shaming a virus? You know, it's like, again, I knew there was something, that was important to leave out. And again, it deserves its own informative video with, you know, graphics that I've already started to compose and stuff and facts that am composing the facts. I'm still researching the AD36. So I think the fact that I left that out of that last video and now I mentioned it in this video, it's like this series that I'm really curious to make, like I said, about obesity. It's like, I was gonna call it the obesity conspiracy, but I could call it the obesity question. That's kind of like an Easter egg. That's a hint right there as to who I was talking about. I admire their series, their different series. I wouldn't be approaching it the same way because I don't have the skills and I'm not objective. I couldn't be objective. I am biased. It's like, but I admit it. I openly admit my bias. It's not, it could be considered, it's pro-size diversity. That's the best way to put it. Size diversity, I didn't even write that. Size diversity ought to be a running theme because, again, you know, when somebody says diversity, ew, you know, that makes them the bad guy, doesn't it? It's like automatic. You don't even have to debate it. It's like, oh, you know, size diversity, you know, it's like, you know, are you going to argue that people are not meant to be different sizes? And again, some people get health triggered, I guess. I did make it out like they were just sadists that were using health as an excuse to bully people into their way of thinking, which again, I still think that's a big thing. I don't think it's even a fetish of humiliation, a humiliation fetish is what I also call it. I don't think it even goes that far. I'm starting to understand there's certain people that just like need to tell other people for their own good what to do, and they, you know, most people just write them, they just disregard them, or if they're really friends, they'll just agree, and they'll just play, they're crazy. That's what it goes on, to tell you the truth. They're the busybodies, people that gotta tell people what to do. Those are the people saying no about weed legalization. You shouldn't legalize the weed. It's hard for me not to just see those people as people that, no, we want to lock more people up. See, I mean, because I see everything from the back side. Like, if you're saying no to legalizing something, you're saying yes to locking more people up over something that's really not a big deal. That's totalitarianism. authoritarianism, whatever. So no wonder people are so scared of a nanny state, because look, you got authoritarianism and you got totalitarianism, you got absolutes that you can't, you know, break from, or there are serious consequences. And now with AD 36, that's just one environmental influence, and yet just that one little tiny virus is responsible for up to 30%. There's a lot of people that be like, virus, I don't care. They should still overcome it. It's like, again, you know, I saw another series talk about viruses may be responsible for our evolution. Like, who is to say viruses aren't responsible for obesity existing in the human race to begin with? That because people say viruses stimulated evolution in humans, in early humans, and if there's a virus that actually induces obesity, it's like, I mean, what more do you need to know that maybe the mere existence of obesity to begin with is not even really, it may not be completely people's fault, that they're being ruled by something. I mean, and that's not the only virus that actually could have an influence over behavior, because they said that's the only virus linked to obesity. And I haven't written it down, but there's that cat virus. There's that virus that cats can transfer, that, you know, sorry kitty, we'll rat you out. It's like this, that in people with low immunity, it can be a big thing. That's why they tell pregnant women not to be around cat waste, to put it nicely. Don't be cleaning out the litter box if you're pregnant, because, you know, you shouldn't be exposed, because newborns that get this virus, exposed to this virus, could have a serious infection if they have a low immunity. So imagine, and AD 36 is probably passed down generation to generation too. So I know people have talked about, you know, genetic markers that get adjusted so that when one person's obese, their offspring are more likely to be obese. Okay, this isn't even that. That's genetic obesity, one factor, and you get this viral obesity, another factor, and then we're eating garbage. That's another factor. We're just eating garbage. We're eating stuff that gets thrown away. I mean, some people throw it away. We're eating, oh my goodness. Okay, I already went into that. I didn't have any links for that one, but that's another environmental factor. That's why each part of this obesity conspiracy slash theory, well, I should say the obesity theory, the obesity conspiracy, the obesity question, I don't know, it is what it is. The media is so hyped about obesity. The media is so, oh, obesity, oh my goodness, obesity. How many of you people know about adenovirus 36 though? How many of you know that there's a fat virus? Have you ever heard of a fat virus, ever? It's like, why not? It's since the media is so all over obesity, since all kind of articles use the word obesity, and he put a headless big person in the picture. It's like, you know, and all those headless people, did they agree? I'll put some headless, I got a group that I collected photos of the headless plus size people, because I was like, I wanted somebody to tell me that I couldn't publish those photos on social media because they were copyright. It's like, those people didn't even know they were being photographed. It's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe if I crop a little bit more out, then it's not, I don't know, look, you tell me, I don't know, it's headless people in articles saying that they're just not healthy. And again, the medical privacy thing, I love that. So you got size diversity. It's like, these are defenses. Even though obesity shouldn't be on the defense, because again, it's not necessarily all individuals' fault, but yet, if I am to take a position that size diversity should be a thing and respected, just like all these other protected classes, even by the very people who kind of cringe at that one group, which is weird. I kind of, again, my last video gives an explanation why are so many big people liberal, and why do liberal people cringe at obesity. It's like, is it the left that's associated with the nanny state? You know, again, when you look at totalitarianism, its roots are leftist, I guess, so they are. All stuff I gotta learn now, I gotta learn more. I was all focused on the fat, but now I realize AD 36, tiny piece of the puzzle. Something you never hear about. Probably another thing from my last video you never hear about. Minorities don't choose to get surgery as often as I guess Caucasians. I didn't see a comparison, but I saw, well no, it was a comparison, it was directly comparison. Caucasians, I don't have the notes that this is not that episode, but it could be an episode. That should be an episode. That's just why. And I linked to 2 different actual science research papers that go into great depth about how the minority population should have access to surgery to lose weight, because they definitely have significant numbers of obese people. But they seem less likely. And again, the factors are explored. One article I linked to even goes into depth about one specific group. That's the last video. I'll be linking to that in this video. But in this video, like I said, marked change, no silly glasses, no, you know, I might do, no, I'm not even, I could do one as a joke. I just slam my head like that and just like, but I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna do it. Because I can have a sense of humor about this crazy stuff in this crazy world without, you know, making my videos too crazy. I guess my crazy videos were just expressing a sense of frustration, you know, at the fact that we've got AI, which could be wonderful, but it's demonetizing everybody, and we got people obsessed with obesity when there's actually hunger out there. Like, wow, like it seems like it's backwards, doesn't it? Like, shouldn't we be more obsessed with hunger than with obesity? And again, why do people associate, like, why do people want to yell at obese people about hungry people? Oh, you know, there's people hungry. It's like, that's, you know, that's sorry, you know, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. I don't understand that. I don't understand why people get, like, they're taking up resources. You don't understand, those resources are either consumed by somebody or they're thrown away. We live in a country that throws more food away. Why isn't anybody talking about the costs associated with food that goes bad? The media has this wonderful way of focusing like a laser on that moral panic. And I've lived through maybe 2 obesity moral panics. Not just one. I've been through 2. There's a time of Richard Simmons, you know, and it seems like maybe 3. There's the Richard Simmons, there's the Carnie Wilson, and there's the Michelle Obama. Okay, let's see. I associate my obesity moral panic comes with mascots. That's the best. And I didn't even plan this. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. I'm gonna go in depth on that. Should write that one down. Like, yeah, if I remember, okay, from what I just said. No, because Richard Simmons was way back on television. People still talk about Richard Simmons. And his claim to fame was that he lost weight. That's why he got famous. Like, there you go. Son, he hasn't come with Jared, actually. But he got famous because he lost weight and he went crazy on TV just telling everybody how to lose weight. And there was this enthusiasm and he was positive. He wasn't all negative like people want to be now. You take it down, Carnie Wilson, and here's where it gets negative. And Carnie Wilson and the lap band people, Allergen, and those people are sneaky. I'm going to do a whole lap band thing because that deserves some coverage. Another medical device promising miracles and delivering heartache. And it's true. Carnie Wilson, big advertiser, you know, I mentioned her in the last video. She was doing seminars all around the country, even in deep South Louisiana. You know, Lord knows, Houston's a big surgery hub. Got that television show coming from Houston. Right next door, Louisiana. They sell that hard. They're selling it hard. They brought Carnie Wilson in. And Carnie Wilson actually participated in a size acceptance publicity thing. And then she turned around and got surgery and kind of used her experience with size acceptance to talk about how it was unhealthy and da-da-da. And again, we get this, somebody selling something is talking about how unhealthy it is to be obese and proposing this magical solution. Well, here we are several years later. I've already mentioned lap bands are being reversed. They're being taken out. People selling another version, the sleeve. Like, I've seen a doctor literally sit there and say, I'm going to take out your lap band and put in the sleeve and do the sleeve. Which the sleeve isn't even a device. They just call it that because of something. I didn't study that. So, there you go. I want to end strong again. I just repeated a lot of crap from my last video. So, that's it.